Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. In this mini series, we're going to be replacing the engine on this 2012 Chevy Malibu. Let's get to it. So as I just mentioned, we have a 2012 Chevy Malibu behind us. This has a 2.4 liter four-cylinder engine, also known as the Ecotec. And those engines are really great and everything like that. I've had a lot of these Ecotecs on my channel, or I've also worked on them a lot off my channel. But these are great engines. They come on many cars. They got like the G5, Cobalt, G6, Malibus. I mean, anything and everything had them from the GM lineup. And like I said, they're great engines, but there's one big downfall, and that is the fact that their timing chain fails. Lots of times people don't replace their timing chain, and when you neglect it, it's going to stretch. It's going to start throwing codes. Once it throws those codes, it gives you a chance to fix it. If you don't, it's going to go ahead and break or loosen up so much it's going to skip a gear, and then once it skips that gear, it's going to smash piston into valves. So that's unfortunately what happened to this guy right here. So I purchased this vehicle for $1,000. It's an okay deal. I've had better, had worse. But overall, this has like 150,000 miles on it. It's pretty clean inside and out. And the engine is about the only thing I'm gonna have to do other than just like some cleaning and touch up around the exterior and stuff like that. But I'm planning on replacing the engine, taking you guys through the process of doing that. I got the new engine that I'm gonna put a new timing chain in another episode in the future. Make sure to watch out for that. But we're gonna go ahead and take a deep dive into the engine bay, show you what we ended up getting, what state it's in, and then also show you what our plans are. So let's go ahead and open the hood and get into there. So now with the hood open, you can see pretty much what state we're in here. The state that we're in is someone went ahead and did the diagnosis already. So the person I bought it from took it to a mechanic. They went ahead and pulled the valve cover, pulled the intake. There's a lot of stuff off this engine right now, breather. And I mean, that's not how far you technically have to go to diagnose, a bad timing chain here. You can see here, even the tensioner guide is off on the top. So you didn't really have to go down this far to diagnose this, but whatever. It's not a big deal. They just did some of the work for us because we're going to be removing this whole entire engine. There's not a lot of work left to do, honestly, on these four cylinders. It's pretty straightforward overall, but I mean, it's all here. I mean, we got some of the parts over here on the corner by the car, but I mean, as far as the engine bay goes, as long as we have all the parts, I should be good to go ahead and pull this engine and swap it out with a new one. Not a big deal. I'm really happy that nothing's cut, nothing's, ripped off of the harness or anything like that. That can make things a lot worse. But overall, I mean, we're just gonna go ahead and get started into here, but let's go ahead and just take the tour around the vehicle, look at the interior, see where we're at on that. Because it's a Michigan car. I mean, we got a little bit of rust, but let's go ahead and take a little quick look around the car. So some of you might have noticed this is the LTZ model. You can tell mainly by the rims. Those are LTZ rims and the chrome accents around the vehicle. As I mentioned, it's fairly good all the way around, but we do have some things like, Michigan rust, which is right there. And then we have the dent going around the back here. It was tinted. Looks like the sun did take some of the tint and bubble it. And then in the back here, everything's looking normal. One thing to note, you might notice there's no exhaust on it. The person I bought it from decided to cut the catalytic converter off right before the catalytic converter. So that's gonna be a fun thing to replace. I'm gonna have to go to the salvage yard to get that. But, I mean, this side's looking very good. Again, tinted windows. We go up front to the right here on the passenger side. We do have another dent, unfortunately. I mean, I could get a new fender for this, and it's not a big deal because you can pick one of these off of any of the Malibus around this year. The white should be very common. And then we do have the busted up grille right there. So if we can find that, great. If not, I might have to order it. Hopefully not, because I don't think the LTZ stuff's that regularly available. And if it is, you got to pay for it. Missing a windshield wiper. And then taking a look on the inside, first thing you notice is the dash is torn apart. Person had a radio in here, and they wanted it back. So luckily, I am getting the factory radio back for this. The interior, I think once we get the dashboard back together and clean this up, the leather's really gonna look good. And then same with the back. Oh, there's the intake. It's all gonna clean up very nicely. So let's not really waste any more time. Let's go ahead and look at the replacement engine. I already have it. I went and pulled it from the salvage yard a couple weeks ago. So let's go ahead and take a look at that real quick. So off to the pile of engines. So these are both Ecotechs, but one's a 2.2 liter Ecotech and the other one's a 2.4 liter Ecotech. I believe it's the one on the left is my 2.4 liter Ecotech. And that's the one that's going to be going into the vehicle. But overall, very good. They're both very good engines. Both came out of wrecked vehicles in the salvage yard. And we're going to go ahead and just replace the one, the Malibu, with this engine here. Got a few engines to take back still, and I have two more over in the truck that has to go back. So I've been collecting a few engines here and there, and these things need to go back for cores. So that's where those two are going back to, and I'll have finally just two left. But let's go ahead and get back to the Malibu and start pulling that engine. So the first couple things we're going to be doing here is getting the wiring harness off the engine the rest of the way, and then also pulling the alternator, loosening up the air conditioner, pulling the starter, getting those front accessories and just things out of the way. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, so let's take a break for a second, give you a quick rundown on what we were able to accomplish. So you can see down at the bottom, the air conditioner is off. That came off with 2 bolts and 1 stud/nut. I took the stud out because sometimes I break the stud when the engine's coming up because I forget about it. So it's easier just to take the stud out using the 5mm and remove it before it comes up. We took the starter out. Starter is held in by 2 15mm bolts. That was nice and easy, became loose with no problem. And then we have the alternator that's out as well. The alternator, they already had all the bolts out, but they left the stud in. The stud with the tension from the belt, because they didn't undo the tensioner, was causing it to go lopsided. So I just took the stud out the rest of the way. That let the alternator flop the rest of the way over. And they already had the connectors all undone. And I just pulled this alternator right on up. And then we did the harness. So the harness is completely gone. And that's about it here on the front. I mean, they did pretty much everything else, so that's kind of neat. The next thing we got to do is start working on the back. So on the back here, we have the exhaust manifold. You can kind of catch a glimpse of it right back there. The exhaust manifold needs to come off. And like I said, there's not much pipe that's down there after the exhaust manifold because they cut it off. So I'm not sure if it can come all the way out or not. And then after that is off, I think we can almost move on to bell housing bolts, and we got to do the heater core lines back there. And then we also got to do the mount over here. And there's also a carrier bearing, or depending on what transmission's in this, if it's the 4-speed or the 6-speed, there's also a either carrier bearing back there for the axle, or there's a connector from the transmission tunnel that slides over to the passenger side that connects, and we'll have to take the wheel off to do that. So Let's take off the exhaust manifold and see where we're at after that. All right, well, it didn't take much effort to get that catalytic converter off the exhaust manifold. I thought I was going to have to remove the exhaust manifold at first, but I don't think I'm going to because the exhaust manifold is so short and stubby, and we have so much room up here because these Malibus can fit a V6, a large V6. So since they can fit that, there's a very large engine bay, and these 4 cylinders are easy to pluck out of here. So we went ahead and removed the 3 bolts or nuts, depending on how they came out, from the catalytic converter. And the catalytic converter, you can see down there, just a shadow of it. But that dropped to the ground. Like I mentioned, there's not the whole exhaust back there. And then we're done with that. So we can go ahead and move on to the next part, which is going to be probably taking this wheel off over here and working on that transmission bolt. Alright, with the wheel off, and by the way, whoever torqued those lug nuts, those are not torqued to spec. Those things were so easy to come off. So I'm going to go around and make sure all the lug nuts are torqued to spec. But hopping in here, I'll show you what I mean by that carrier bearing. So that's the carrier bearing for the axle. And then we have the other piece right there. So I can focus in on it. Let's see. Right there that we need to remove. That's a transmission to engine stabilizer that just needs to get taken off. Not a big deal. So remove that, and then in the carrier bearing, after that it's bell housing bolts, the heater core hoses, and we're pulling up out of here. So I was able to get a lot of things done underneath here. We can kind of just take a quick look. So I went ahead and unbolted the carrier bearing. And then also removed a bunch of bell housing bolts, that crossbar, and then more bell housing bolts underneath here. You can see them all missing all the way around. And then coming back up top, we removed a couple more bell housing bolts right through here. And I think the next thing we're going to do is remove the torque converter bolts within the torque converter. We remove those from the starter hole, and you can see we already have the starter removed. So we'll go ahead and remove those. All right, so there's only 3 of these torque converter bolts on the 2.2 liter and 2.4 liter Ecotechs, 17 millimeter. I just got to rotate the engine around. Mine was locking up a little bit because of this bad belt or bad chain, but I was luckily able to spin it counterclockwise. It's not a big deal when the engine's bad, and was able to get them to rotate over. If you want to check if you have them all, you can just reach your hand back there and spin the torque converter. Torque converter should spin freely from the flex plate. So the torque converter is done. Bottom bell housing bolts are done. We have just the coolant hoses on top, and we have the bell housing bolts up top here. After that, maybe a sensor or 2, but she's ready to come out. Also, we got the mount over here too, but that's not a big deal. We'll get it all strapped up at some point and try to get this up out of here. All right, a few things have happened. You can see the engine hoist, first of all, and something tied to it. But we went ahead and undid those heater core hoses. Heater core hoses are taken off. Got the wire harness a little bit more out of the way. Almost tripped over my creeper. The few things we need to do still, I got the coolant hose out of the way, got another ground strap undone. We need to still undo those two bell housing bolts. If you can get these wires out here. One there, and then one underneath the thermostat housing. After that, then we need to undo that bracket or mount right there for the passenger side engine mount. And then after I do that, the engine should be able to come on up out of here. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and we'll catch up right then. All right, we are back, and passenger engine mount removed. Come around this side. We have the two bell housing bolts removed, and you can see that it already dropped a little bit. We got separation between the bell housing and the transmission from the engine. And then, I mean, that's just holding it up right now. I think what we can go ahead and do is start lifting it up, and let's see if we can get this out, especially out without taking off the hood. It depends on how close that's going to get before I can start moving it forward. I think I can do it without removing the hood, but if we have to, we'll remove it. So let's go ahead and mount the camera and get this thing up out of there. Well guys, that was like 2.5 hours, 3 hours, start to finish on pulling this motor, taking you guys to the walkthrough and everything like that. But engine is out. It was fairly simple. A lot of bolts are already removed for us. I've done these a few times before, so I kind of know what I'm doing. But even for a novice, if you're just trying to get into this, these might be one of the best engines to get into for starting your first engine pull and replacement. This was easy, piece of cake. It's out of here. New motor, we're going to do a timing chain on it, and hopefully everything with the timing chain goes well. We'll take you guys along with it, and then after that we'll regroup and set it back down into the engine bay and get everything hooked up and give it that first turn of the key with you. So if this video helped you at all, please make sure to like the video, subscribe to my channel. I will have more of this content coming, and then also check out my timing chain video that's going to come up too. That way you know how to time 2.2s and 2.4 liter Ecotechs. And then, as always, just thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time. See ya.